Yo, what's going on? This is King checking in. My first YouTube video on my new channel. First timers, welcome. I am a truck driver, a Little Fell Trucking. That was my previous YouTube channel that I still have for the videos, but I don't post on that channel no more. For those who recognize that channel, subscribe and follow this one. This is the new rebooted little fella, aka King, which is this channel, King MI. The MI is my initials. King is my middle name, so King MI, for those who want to know. So I'm gonna start my first video off to kind of pick up where my last video, my last YouTube channel left off, and for why I ain't been posting for so long is because I ended up losing my truck. For those who didn't know, I was an owner operator for the last 3 years, and dealing with the regen issues, dealing with the company I leased to last, the pay, the percentage pay, and all that, and man, I had to let it go, man. I had to let it go. The last thing that took me out was the fuel ejector tip breaking off and getting into the fuel line system and contaminating it. Me taking it to Freightliner, they told me it would have ran 13.5. Ridiculous, because they had to replace the injectors. They had to, take off the fuel tanks and clean the whole fuel system out. They talk about all kind of stuff, and it was a lot of labor. I mean, the parts alone would have been like about $4 or $5 grand, and then the rest is labor, all labor. And anybody that been to Freightliner, knowing that labor ain't cheap. Definitely ain't cheap. It ain't cheap nowhere really, but I'm pretty sure you can find a personal mechanic that could be more reasonable. But from what I've been seeing with some of these personal mechanics, man, they might be cheaper or whatever the case is, but their quality of work is questionable. I mean, there'd be some jobs they do that's to the T, that's good, and there'd be other jobs where they'll do it, or whatever, but they'll either break something or forget to put something back together or tighten something down. Then you get back in your truck, drive 100 miles, 1,000 miles, not even 3,000 miles down the road, and then boom, problem come back. Or even worse. And it's a funny stories because that's what's just happened. So like I told y'all, I just lost my truck. Not just, but I lost my truck for the guy I was leased on with. He's a brother-in-law. He was personal. And he ended up letting me stay as a company driver and drive one of his equipment. Well, that went okay for a while until his company started going under, sinking with violations, accidents, and stuff like that. I mean, the guy's safety record is nothing good to look at, and it's even worse now. So what he did was took a nickel per mile from every driver to help pay for the insurance difference between what he was already paying and what he has to pay now. A whole nickel. Do the math. If you was doing 3,000 miles a week, it's about $150 a week, $600 a month. For the overachievers, probably taking more closer to $200 a week. The underachievers, probably closer to $120-ish per se. Either way, you're losing money. That's a car note. That's insurance, health insurance. That's half of your rent, mortgage, storage, kicking money, whatever. That's a lot of money to be taken from one person, for something that one person isn't responsible for. My safety record is squeaky clean. Why I gotta pay a nickel? It eventually got to the point where if it ain't the maintenance or who does the maintenance on the truck, if it ain't the equipment itself, how old and raggedy a lot of his equipment is. He got a couple modern trucks like the one I bought, but I ain't driving it. So if it ain't, and I was doing flatbed, if it ain't the tarps and chains, binders, and all this stuff that we got to keep it on flatbeds. And you got guys that steal equipment, borrow equipment, don't say nothing off each other's truck. If you're not dropping and hooking trailers, doing favors. I mean, doing all this for 45 cents a mile is already crazy enough. What goes over the top of that is that this guy ain't a regular fleet owner, business owner. He runs his company intensely, and I can't stress it enough. He'll have you run without saying it. He'll have you run. Like, run. Don't even ask a question. Don't even comment below about e-logs. Don't even try it. I ain't even gonna answer it. Think with me. He has you run. So crazy. It got to the point where my stress from that company, aside what I got going on at home, and it's more of the company, had my blood pressure high. I wasn't feeling good, and then I also am adapting a vegan lifestyle, so my habits has changed. I've been vegan for like the past 7 months, mostly vegan. I mean vegetarian, but mostly vegan. I don't eat meat at all, so it's usually the cheese and the bread. It's hard for me to kind of slide. So, but other than that, yeah, I had to put my 2-day notice in. I didn't do a 2-week notice. I didn't. I ended up putting an application in, and I know he knew because they have to call and verify my work history. So even he took 2 weeks to do that. 2 weeks to verify my work history so he can keep me working for him, making money. He knew I'm on my way out the door. So, I mean, that's what that was. And now I'm at the point where I done quit his company, and I'm in transition right now. So that's why I'm just sitting out here in the middle of nowhere in my personal vehicle, whatever, in my pickup. And I'm actually waiting for my next trucking company to call me with an orientation day. I done did the defensive driving course. I done got my hazmat. I already have my hazmat. I've been having my hazmat for 3 years. Of course, my CDL is valid. I renewed my DOT physical last month for 2 years. And all they're waiting for is the drug test to post, which I did that this past Wednesday. But I did it at like 4:35 in the afternoon. And then, of course, LabCorp picks it up the following day at 10:30. And then they got to get to where they got to do it at. And then it takes up to 72 hours for it to post and then get back to them. So you can see why today, if not tomorrow, I should hear something. So I ain't worried about it anyways. I mean, it's just the time consuming. Like, this is something I could have had done 2 weeks ago. But the way this company works, they're so strict. And they got to do it in order. They can't skip over a step to get things moving faster. It's like they have to do this, they have to do that, they have to do this, they have to do that. Okay, I get it. Kind of like, but it's okay. But anyways, this is really just an introductory video, you know. The first one I posted on my YouTube channel. Of course, I have plenty of content coming, so please like and subscribe. I ain't gonna tell you to share this because it's an introductory video. And for those who want to check out my old YouTube and kind of catch up to where this is, so when it moves forward, you ain't gonna be kind of lost in the matrix. Hopefully you see this video first before like my future videos, and then come back to this one. I will title it to hope you say like it's a must watch or something. But my old YouTube is Little Fella Trucking. Little Fella Trucking. You type that in, you go check them out. I still got guys and people, gals, commenting on my videos, talk about where have I been, I haven't heard from you, are you still driving, are you still making videos, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'll answer them or whatever the case is, but I've been kind of quiet just because I've been doing so much, and if it ain't personal, if it ain't going dealing with this guy before I let him go, you know, now I actually got free time to actually focus on my new YouTube channel, so on and so forth, and make more money, have more freedom, a lot less stress, and I can't stress that enough. It's going to be lovely. So stick around, people. I will come back. And as you see the YouTube videos being posted after, you're going to probably start noticing more upgrades and changes to the video. But this is my first one, so. And I'm an iPhone user now. I'm not an Android. My last YouTube's channel was mainly Android. This was an iPhone, so I'm trying to figure that out too. Side note, I see a couple YouTubers, especially trucker YouTubers, that got an iPhone. And the one I want to point out specifically is Nick and Carla. I watch their videos a lot. I know she uses the iPhone, but it's how she edited. And I'm trying to figure that out, man. I'm just like, how is she doing that? So I'm trying to play with this, you know, and then use iMovie, and then like you try to upload it to YouTube on iMovie, and then they're not affiliated with each other no more. So you got to kind of go around it and bypass it, which I just figured that out. And I got to figure it out again for this video, but it's all good. It's all good. So definitely stick around and check me out. So everybody be safe. King, I'll holler back at y'all.